The Phoenix metropolitan area. Size, 9,000 square miles. Population, 4.3 million people. Residents, industry, and farmers living, working, and recreating in this area use an average of 70,000 gallons of water every day. For the city of Phoenix to continue thriving in this desert environment, managing water sustainably is critical. In this video, we hope to address the question, how sustainable is water use in Phoenix, and how can water be managed more sustainably in the future? To explore water sustainability in Phoenix, we first need to learn something about the water system, which consists of supply, distribution, use, and disposal of water from start to end. Phoenix's water supply comes from three primary sources. The first local resource are the aquifers, underground water supplies that exist naturally in the metropolitan area. The Salt River Project, also called SRP, manages the second major resource of water, which consists of the Salt and Verde riversheds. The final major resource is the Colorado River. These three sources make up the majority of water used in metropolitan Phoenix. The local aquifers account for 44% of water use. The Salt and Verde watersheds generate 24%, and the Colorado River generates the final 32%. So how does water from all over the American Southwest get to Phoenix? To get water from the Colorado River to Phoenix is not a simple task. Water is removed at the Mark Wilmer pumping plant near Lake Havasu in Arizona and pumped uphill 2,400 feet across the desert in open canals. That is over 6 times taller than the Chase Tower, the tallest building in Phoenix. The water travels a distance of over 336 miles. This process takes massive amounts of energy, which comes largely from coal power plants on the Navajo Reservation. To get water from the other major sources, the Salt and Verde rivers, that actually generates energy rather than using energy. The reason is simple. The water is uphill from Phoenix, and as the water is released, it passes through turbines, which generate enough electricity to power 80,000 homes. The final source of water is pumped out of the aquifers just beneath our feet. Even pumping the water up out of the ground takes an incredible amount of energy. The use of water in metropolitan Phoenix is divided into 3 main categories. Most of the water, about 70%, is used in agriculture. 20% is used by industry, manufacturers, and businesses. And only 10% of all the water brought into Phoenix is used by residents at their own home. Only a fraction of our water use is in the home. So if we think strategically about saving water, who could have the biggest impact on water use and save the most? Farmers, industry, or residents? So, is water sustainably managed in Phoenix? One way to answer that question is to look at a few indicators. Are there any impacts on people living upriver from Phoenix? One impact that we know about is that Colorado residents cannot collect rainwater that falls on their property. That water belongs to the states who have entered into the Colorado River Compact. Arizona, California, Colorado, Nevada, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming all share the water rights. However, this impinges on the rights of individuals who cannot use rain barrels to store and use water on their own property. The Colorado River Compact provides water to Phoenix residents through laws and policies that challenge individual landowner rights. In times of drought, there will be increasing tension between landowners upriver and water users downriver. What might be the impacts on downriver communities? Water from the mighty Colorado River, the 7th longest river in the United States, has reached the ocean only 5 times since 1983, most recently in 1998, meaning it has been over 15 years since the river met the sea. And that is because people living upstream used all the water. Another indicator could be the balance between the renewable sources of surface water and the use of non-renewable groundwater. Renewable sources of water are equal to the amount of annual rainfall in a given watershed that humans have access to for their use. Many sources of groundwater take centuries to recharge and are non-renewable. If humans balance their use of water, this is called safe yield. Safe yield is accomplished when groundwater is withdrawn at the same rate that it is being replaced in the aquifer. The overuse of non-renewable groundwater is causing groundwater levels to drop in many places in the metropolitan Phoenix area. The rapid removal of groundwater can also create sinkholes and at times entire buildings collapse. More importantly, Using groundwater regularly is like spending money out of your savings account, and when drought occurs, there might not be enough water left in the bank. In Arizona, water demand is projected to exceed the renewable supply by an estimated 300 million gallons in 2050. To manage water sustainably in Phoenix, and in Arizona in general, there are changes that need to happen across the entire system, from the sources we rely upon to the ways that we move water and allocate water for use. To address these water resource challenges, the state of Arizona in 1980 created 5 active management areas. All new development within the state needs to demonstrate a 100-year assured water supply prior to receiving a new building permit. This policy is one of the most forward-looking, future-oriented water policies in the United States. Researchers at the Decision Center for a Desert City at Arizona State University have identified this piece of legislation as essential for Phoenix to achieve safe yield of groundwater and to manage water sustainably in the future. In this video, we assess the sustainability of water supply, distribution, and use in Phoenix, and learn that Phoenix uses more groundwater than it is recharging on an annual basis. And the use of water in Phoenix takes a significant amount of energy to pump the water up 2,400 feet out of the Colorado River all the way to the city. The use of water in Phoenix also creates impacts on upriver and downriver communities. We determined that water use is currently unsustainable in Phoenix, since we are starting to use more water than can be renewably generated through precipitation. How can we change to manage water more sustainably in the future? We will need your help to answer that question in this week's homework and activities.